Hello, I am Marty Sytsema. I am one of the instructors for the orthopedic approach to myofascial release course here at Great Lakes Seminars. I want to go over a variation on the first rib muscle energy technique that we teach in a lot of our courses. This is one of the most useful techniques for people to know because any upper extremity symptom, any cervical system, anything through the ribs or the shoulder, it's really important to look at the first rib. The way we teach it at Great Lakes Seminars and a lot of our courses is in sitting, where the therapist's leg is up on the table and they're coming in like that. But that's often difficult for people because their legs aren't as long as my legs are. So I want to show you a variation for that in supine, which works fairly well also. So we have assumed that this right first rib is the elevated one. And there's several different things we can do for that. We can do that, a spring on it to see if that's restricted. We can see if it moves equally with inhalation and exhalation. We can do that cervical rotation lateral flexion technique to look at one side where it just won't go. So that right side is the elevated first rib. So I have my hand on the top of the first rib heading toward the opposite hip. Some people really like to have a key pinch grip there or get really specific on that rib, but that's very uncomfortable for the therapist and for the patient. So I just use my second MCP joint right there. And that generally is pushing at a direction toward the opposite hip, pretty much in the angle that my arm is at right now. So I'm putting some pressure on that first rib in that oblique direction, and I'm going to maintain that. I'm going to side bend his head to put the right scalenes on some slack. And then in a moment, we're going to have him side bend his head to the left to get reciprocal inhibition of those right scalenes to hopefully get them to relax so I can push that first rib down. The other thing I'm going to add to this, which is somewhat different from the way we teach it, and this is easier in supine than in sitting, is I'm going to add a respiratory component to it. So when he breathes in, I'm going to hold that first rib down. And when he exhales, I'm going to go with it, giving a little bit of overpressure. All right, so here's how it works. Pushing in that direction toward the opposite hip. And I'm going to ask Tony to take a deep breath in. I'm providing some pressure on that first rib. Hold your breath. Now side bend your head to the left into my chest. We'll do that for about 6 seconds and then you relax. And as you exhale, I give a little bit of overpressure on that first rib going toward that opposite hip. And then we're going to do it again. Take a deep breath in, hold your breath, side bend your head to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax and exhale. And I give a little more pressure. And I'll do that 3 times. One more time. Deep breath in. I'm holding it down. Side bend to the left. Okay, hold that. Then relax and exhale. And I'm giving a moderate to moderate plus pressure in that direction. So then afterwards, like all things, we test, we treat, we retest. So we recheck and say, oh yeah, that's more springy now. Oh, it moves more evenly when he breathes. And wow, there's all kinds of mobility there. So what a great technique. All right, I hope it's very useful for you because it's been very useful for me.